Children, we are in the next topic now, chemical changes. Chemical changes and physical changes we will be learning. What is the main difference between a chemical change and a physical change? Yes, in chemical change a new substance is formed. That is the keyword, children. In chemical change, a new substance which is completely different from the reactants is formed. That is the key word for chemical change. Now, the first chemical change that we will see is that of rusting. Okay, iron plus oxygen plus water gives iron oxide. Remember, I think I gave you this in the summer assignment, to drop nails in water and also coat one nail with oil and leave it like that. Remember, that was based on this. That activity was based on this, children. Iron plus oxygen, Fe plus O2, oxygen plus water. Water can be even water vapor, atmospheric moisture also. Okay, gives iron oxide. And what is this X here? This X denotes the number of water molecules. It might change. That is why it is mentioned as X. Fe2O3 is iron oxide with the water. X is the number of water molecules present in iron oxide. Okay, children. So, this is rusting. This is the chemical reaction that takes place during rusting. And how can rusting be prevented? You would have seen in your houses, gates or grills would be painted, right? Painting is one way of avoiding rusting. And one more thing is galvanization, that is coating the iron with zinc. This is given in your book also, you can refer. The water pipes that carry water in your houses, which are actually iron, are coated with zinc. This is called as galvanization. So, how will we prevent rusting? Two processes. One is oiling, another one is galvanization. And this is the reaction to show rusting of iron. Keep this in mind. Okay, children. Next one, vinegar plus baking soda. Many of you would have done activities based on this in your lower classes also. You would have prepared volcanoes and all. Remember, acetic acid, that is vinegar, plus baking soda, which is normally used in cakes, making cakes or appam and all that. These two, when they react, so much of bubbles will come out. Why do those bubbles come out? It is because of carbon dioxide is trying to escape out. Even when mummy is making appams, she would add either yeast or baking soda to the batter, and the carbon dioxide would escape out, making it more fermented, right? So, this reaction is one such reaction. Vinegar plus baking soda gives carbon dioxide plus water plus sodium acetate. This is vinegar, children. I told you where baking soda is used and how it results in the formation of carbon dioxide. This reaction is vinegar, that is acetic acid, which we always have in the kitchen. Now, the chemical formula of vinegar is this: CH3COOH plus baking soda is nothing but NaHCO3. Okay, gives carbon dioxide gas plus water plus sodium acetate. Now, a small test for this carbon dioxide. Is this really carbon dioxide? How will we know? If this gas is passed through lime water. This is lime water, children. CaOH twice. Calcium hydroxide. Carbon dioxide is passed through calcium hydroxide or lime water. It turns milky. Okay, so that is the test for carbon dioxide. Now, when it turns milky, what are the products? CaCO3 and water, calcium carbonate and water. Children, the next chemical reaction or the chemical change that takes place is CuSO4 plus Fe gives FeSO4 plus Cu. What is this CuSO4? Copper sulfate. very beautiful looking color it has got. If I happen to take you to the lab, I would have shown you. Copper sulfate crystals are very beautiful to look. It's somewhat bluish color. Ask your mom to show her sari which has this copper sulfate color. It looks very beautiful, okay? And this copper sulfate, when it reacts with iron, what happens? This sulfate gets displaced. So it becomes FeSO4 and copper. The iron nail, the activity is given in your book. The iron nail which was put in the copper sulfate solution becomes brown in color. It becomes brown in color and copper is separated. This is also a chemical change, children. Children, the next type of chemical change which we will discuss is browning of vegetables or fruits. You would have seen brinjal, apple and all. After it is cut, if it is left like that itself, there would be a brown color layer that is formed on the vegetables. How does this happen? It is because the brinjal or the apple reacts with the outer surface, the cut surface reacts with the atmospheric oxygen and a pigment called as melanin is formed. Okay, but this can be avoided, children. If the vegetable is soaked in water, or even if the apple after it is cut, if you add a little bit of lemon juice on it, it will not change into brown color. And moreover, apple will be very delicious to eat also. Try it out at home. Okay, children. Now, after this, we come to the physical changes. Now, physical change is not a new term to you. You have learned it before also. Compare melting of wax and burning of candle. You have learned this in your 6th standard, right? Melting of wax is a physical change because there is no new substance formed. It is the same wax that we have got it back. Whereas burning of candle, when the wick, the thread wick, when it burns, it leaves out smoke. Thereby, it is a chemical change. Okay. So, this is the difference between melting of wax and the burning of candle or burning of wax. Fine. Last one is crystallization. What is crystallization? Crystallization is a process in which you obtain crystals. And refer your book, children. Crystals definition is given. Crystals are the purest form of a substance which have a definite geometrical shape. So, that is the key word. Crystal means it is a pure substance, pure form of a substance, and it has got perfect geometrical shape. Okay. So, where is this crystallization used? It is used in the preparation of salt, in the making of salt. Okay. When seawater evaporates and the salt is got, and even after that, to remove the impurities from the salt, the salt undergoes crystallization, after which sodium chloride alone is taken and is taken for human use. Okay, children. So, with this we complete this lesson. We will have a revision of this and all later, but for now you will practice the chemical formulas, the chemical equation and the questions that I give you in the classwork. Okay, children. So, shall we see the answer for yesterday's homework? The homework that was given to you was magnesium oxide, to derive the chemical formula of magnesium oxide and calcium chloride. So, I hope you would have done as per as what I have taught you. So, first you will write the symbol Mg and O. Valency of magnesium is 2 and oxygen is also 2. So, you will cross it. So, you get Mg2 O2, where both these small numbers, they are divided by, they are divisible by 2. So, MgO is the answer. Magnesium oxide chemical formula is MgO. Now, calcium chloride, the valency of calcium is 2, Ca and Cl. First you will write the symbol, then the valency Ca is 2 and for chlorine it is 1. Then you cross it, you write it as CaCl2. Beautiful, right? Okay, children. So practice like this. Don't complicate with the things that are not given in your book or which I have not taught you. You may land up in big confusion. So try to do the activities that I have taught you, like the chemical formula formation as well as the chemical equation balancing, balance of chemical equation. Both keep repeating what I have taught you. So you will gain experience and you will be able to do them fast also. Okay, children? So meet you in the next class. Thank you.